I
Hi.
don't think I said my name properly.
We're live.
Okay, so
Okay, wait. I, good morning, everyone. This is the debate for the welfare officer's position. Introducing Ina Muawiyah and Jasper Chow from Ignivitas. With me, I also have the office bearer, Sean Stanley, which was our welfare officer for 2020. Never mind. I'm not really sure
2017,
about that.
2018.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Sean. So, just a bit of a self introduction. My name is Sean Pan. I am the annual election returning officer for this year. With me, I also have my deputy returning officer, Alethea. And we also have a few audience reminders just to keep comments respectful and try not to spam too much, including no hate speech, things like that. You are also permitted to drop any questions you have in the comments. So if you have any questions for Ina and Jasper, feel free to ask them and we'll get to them and they'll be given the chance to answer your questions later. Now, let's talk about the agenda so everyone is clear about what's happening today. Alethea? Okay, so first we have the introduction by the Election Commission, which is what I'm doing now. After we talk about the itinerary, we'll move on to the opening statements by Ina and Jasper, where they'll have 5 minutes to talk about their manifesto and give an overall good impression. Because we don't have any opposing candidates in this debate, we will skip the Q&A by candidates or cross-examination, and we'll move straight to the Q&A by office bearer, which we have Sean Stanley here with us. After Sean's Q&A, we will move to your questions in the audience, hence the Q&A by the audience. And after the Q&A by audience, we will finally close off with Ina and Jasper's closing statements. And finally, we will close off with the closing by Election Commission. So without further ado, Ina and Jasper, the floor is yours. You're welcome to start your opening statement now.
Okay, thank you so much, Sean. So, hello, good afternoon to everyone watching. I'm Ina. I'm currently a Year 2 Sem 2 student studying Arts and Social Sciences. And with me, I have my running partner, Jasper.
Hi everyone, I'm Jasper and I'm also a Year 2 Semester 2 student studying Mechanical Engineering. And Ina and I are running for the position of Welfare Officers.
First, to give a bit of background on the leadership experiences that I believe make me qualified for this position, I was a subcommittee member for the MUSA Vice President's Department in 2021, and I held a director position at one of Monash's clubs, Isaac, and of course, I'm also currently serving as the Welfare Officer for 2022. I believe that all these past experiences cumulatively give me good knowledge of how to lead a department and how to plan and execute events. And as I've fulfilled almost 2 full years in MUSA, I have a good understanding of how MUSA works.
As for me, I was a previous MUSA School of Engineering subcommittee member and was an active member of the MUSA Buddies program, logistics team, back in 2021. Having been around and involved in MUSA for almost the entirety of my university life, I can say with confidence that I too am well versed with the inner workings of MUSA and am familiar with the operational background of this association. As both of us are currently serving as welfare officers for MUSA 2022, many of you may wonder, why are we running for the same position for a second year? Well, already having served almost 1 full term as welfare officers, we can say that we really feel that advocating for student welfare is something we are extremely passionate about. This year, as the first welfare officers back, after the many online semesters, we have revived many physical functions of the MUSA Welfare Department that were disrupted due to the pandemic.
We want to further develop the foundations that we have set this year to better serve the student community and be the voices for student well-being. We believe that we are perfectly placed to do so as we are now aware of all the ins and outs of the department and all the requirements that we have to fulfill as part of this position. Although we have tried our best to serve the students well this year, we are also aware that there are many areas for improvement within the department, and we're determined to be the ones bringing about the improvements that we've envisioned. Since we have experience in this role and won't have to face a steep learning curve if we are elected, we believe that we'll be able to run the department more efficiently next year and implement more initiatives for the welfare of the student community, as we are well versed in the technical procedures of MUSA as well.
One of the improvements that we would like to implement is establishing more avenues of feedback and more channels of communication between ourselves and the student community, so that we are more approachable and more accessible for the students to talk to in case they wish to bring up any issues they are facing. On top of the online feedback form that we are currently have in place, we would like to implement a physical feedback box in the student lounge, where students can submit their feedback for us to attend to as soon as possible. In addition to this, we would like to introduce a semesterly welfare feedback forum where students can join a live session to speak to us directly.
Another key point that we'd like to focus on next year is improving the student lounge facilities. We'd like to add more recreational facilities to go alongside the ping pong table and the pool tables that are currently there. And we also aim to establish a more solid and organized lounge management system that can be used in the years to come as well. We'd also like to continue our work this year in fostering a positive environment on campus through seemingly small but effective initiatives that create happiness for the students and encourage a sense of community within the student population. Examples of this are the Hey There, Have a Chocolate event from semester 1 and the Positive Sticky Note Wall from semester 2 this year.
And finally, although this is a given for any welfare officer, we will continue advocating for mental health and well-being as we have been even this year. But next year, we plan to do so on a much larger scale by launching physical and virtual campaigns, promoting cultures of wellness among the students. We also aim to increase collaborations between our department and mental health-centered organizations so that students are well aware of all the resources available to them.
To finish off our opening statement, we'd like to assure everyone that we definitely have what it takes to run the welfare department, and we'd also like to reiterate that if elected, we will definitely make sure to hear out student concerns, and at the heart of everything we do, we will have the welfare of students in mind first and foremost. That's all for our opening statement. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Inan and Jasper, for your wonderful and concise opening statement. Audience, this was Inan Muaviath and Jasper Chow from Ignivitus on why they should be elected as welfare officer. Now, like I was saying before, we do not have any other candidates for us to do a cross-examination period, so we will skip straight to our Q&A session by Sean Sandy. Sean, the floor is yours. You may ask them any questions you have.
Thank you, Sean. Hi, guys. Okay, so I'll try not to be too harsh on this one, but I will ask you some relatively serious questions. All right. So, in your manifesto, I noticed you mentioned that from your 1 year of experience, you have now identified areas within the department that need improvement. Could you share a little bit more on those?
Okay, thank you, Sean, for the question. So one of the flaws, let's say, that we have found in the department so far would be the way the lounge is managed right now, the lounge management system. What we say so far is that there is currently no a formal or black and white guideline that lounge managers, loungees to follow, and everything is based on coming to us, the welfare officers, and decide on case-by-case basis. So this is one of the flaws that we think that there is this year and caused many inefficiencies in running the lounge.
Mhm.
So to combat this or to overcome this, what we plan to do in the upcoming term, since we know the inner workings of how the lounge works, is to make a formal guideline or like a black and white document where future lounge managers and current lounge managers can refer to, so they are more well-versed of how to deal with certain scenarios and operations of the lounge. Yeah.
Okay. So I just like to ask, how do you ensure that guideline actually gets passed down to your successors? And how?
Sorry, was that
sorry,
more? Okay, so in order to make sure that this guideline does get passed down, I think obviously next year, whoever applies, there will be a shadow period with us when they apply and if they're elected. So during the shadow period, we would pass down everything that we have for them to carry on. And one of the most important things that we would pass on to them is just the lounge management document or whatever it is that we have. And, I believe we'd instruct them to also pass it down in a similar way. But of course, they are free to make improvements as the years go by.
Furthermore, we'll also try to implement this into the MUSA handbook for welfare officers. I believe that still needs to be updated. So by having that black and white down in the handbook as well, we can definitely ensure that this will be passed on to generations to come.
Okay. Just a little insider info for you guys. There already is a guideline that was established in 2017 and it maintained to 2018 until the end of my term. In 2019, when I handed it over, it disappeared. And
I see.
in 2020, it got worse, and then it just gets worse. So whatever efforts you all put in to make a guideline, there is very little chance that it will actually be carried forward. So if you want to put something in place that can be passed on successfully, I would recommend trying to invest in an actual system to manage the launch, not just a guideline, an actual system that's programmed to manage the launch. Because there's something we didn't have the time to accomplish during our term. Because if a system is in place, when you pass it on, it's already there and it already knows what to do. So even if the new welfare officers don't have the guideline or they're not aware of the guideline, at least there's already something set in place. Because the guideline, Musa has been making guidelines and passing it on for generations. Nothing reaches the successors. I'm telling you from as I've been there since 2016. Nothing reaches the successors. The only way information gets across if someone runs for the same office again, or someone reruns for another position within Musa. Otherwise, the information is gone. Okay, just my little pointer for that one.
I think that's like a really good insight from your experience. So thank you. We'll definitely try and implement that.
Yes, thanks for the input, Sean.
Sure. Also, regarding improving the launch facilities, what do you all have in mind?
We'll have a minute to discuss if that's okay.
Sure. Take your time. Take your time.
All right, so for the improvements, right, for the lounge, new facilities for this lounge, right? Currently, there's a lot of like sports balls, pool cues, and everything are in kind of bad condition, and has not been renewed for a very long time because of the pandemic. So one of the main things we'll do is to bring in these new facilities, new sports equipment like badminton rackets, ping pong paddles, and such, and also. We are looking into bringing in other recreational facilities as there was in the past, notably the foosball table. I think it was back in your time, Sean. So yeah, we're planning to bring it back again. But yeah, it's pending further discussions on this.
Yeah, for this one, we will say that we're not making any promises, but we definitely will be trying.
All right. Okay, regarding the football table, are you all bringing it back? Are you all looking to purchase a football table? Are you all looking to do profit sharing like what we used to do last time?
I think profit sharing would be the way to go as of last time, because I think, that would be better than just purchasing an entire table on its own and can be removed if need be in the future.
That's actually a very good answer, because my follow-up point to that was very few people used to play the football. So it's not worth the investment buying it. Profit sharing was zero cost on our side, but revenue at the same time.
I see.
Are you all planning to bring PlayStations back to the launch?
Bringing PlayStations. Okay, that is actually something we have actually definitely pushed for this year with the K-Packs and everything. However, due to the financial procedural changes, right, there has been a delay and like some backlog with all of these last. So we are definitely pushing for this, but nothing much can be done yet until the finance side is sorted out. So yeah.
Did they approve the purchases, or is it stuck in the approval stage or the processing stage?
It is still stuck in, I think, it's still the early stages of this thing.
So they haven't approved. They haven't approved it.
They have not gotten to Capex yet for this year, from what we understand. So it's kind of difficult.
You might need to push that one a little bit more. From my experience, the less you confront them about it, the more they'll slip it under the rug.
All right, sure.
When we had more money last time, it was quite difficult to get stuff. You will also need to replace two TVs. One's very, very old and one's dead.
Yes, definitely.
We did apply to replace those as well during the Capex this year.
And they haven't got back to you yet, so.
Yeah, so we will definitely push. I think we have followed up with our treasurers as well, but I think it's not their fault either. They're also waiting for answers from finance side.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other new attractions you all plan to bring to the launch?
Just we have already like applied for more board games because the current ones are quite old, missing pieces, but those are something that we plan to do this year.
Okay.
Yep.
Also, a quick question. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to ask you all budgeting type of questions, but just in case I'm just gonna ask, feel free to not answer if you can't. So the launch previously used to get finances from MUSA's budget directly for maintenance. The revenue used to only go for petty cash and minor and laundry payments, of course, lah. So now with your current budget cuts, do you all think that you all can actually bring significant change to the launch, considering that MUSA's budget will no longer be there to back you up, like how it used to be for me?
All right. So regarding the financial situation, right, we won't go into specifics of like how much and everything, the values, because I don't think we're allowed to. But I can say definitely from this year, we do have sufficient funds to run our operations and also bring these types of upgrades to the lounge, because also the lounge revenue generated is definitely sufficient and way more than enough to carry out what we need to do. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So did you all manage to identify any other areas that needs improvements besides the launch in welfare?
So for this, we did notice that the locker booking system that we currently have in place also could use a bit of more work to be less manual. But this is also something that we are currently trying to improve within this term. Because
Mhm.
for everything that we feel like we've identified and we have the power to still change during this current term, we will be doing it during this term.
Okay. Speaking of the locker booking system, the locker booking system, the lockers are currently in building 6 basement, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that area will be renovated eventually. They are in the plans of doing it, some plans of doing something. So you might want to speak with facilities to find out if they're going to move you to another location, and if they are, you may be able to get facilities to equip you with new lockers
Okay.
That's
when they do the
definitely
renovation. So
that's
if you
definitely
play it right,
something. Sorry,
hmm?
sorry. I
Okay.
keep
So
speaking
if you
over
all
you.
play it right there, you might be able to get some extra lockers over there. All right.
Yeah, because the current lockers do look quite worn and torn. So we have been looking to get new lockers as well.
All right. All right. Okay. Also regarding your student well-being initiatives, could you share a little more on that?
Hi, Sean. Could we clarify? Is this about point two on our manifesto?
Yes.
Believe it's point two. Okay, so last sem, near exams, we had an event called Hey There, Have a Chocolate, which was basically just, we went around campus while students were studying for final exams, and we
Mm-hmm.
let them write notes to their peers, like positive messages of encouragement for exams, and we handed it over, to the next student with the message the previous student wrote along with the chocolate. And students really enjoyed this event, we feel, because the participation rates were higher than we aimed for. A lot of students messaged us on Instagram asking if we were still doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So we feel like small events like this, they really help the students feel bonded to each other as well as a community, because they were all helping each other out in a time of, stress with finals and things like that. So we think small events like that have the potential to really, foster a positive environment on campus. So
Okay.
that's something that we did last term and we are looking to carry forward through our term.
All right. That's something similar to what we used to do last time as well. Do you have
Mhm.
anything newer, out of the box, creative ideas that you'd like to try out?
I Yeah. Give us a minute, yeah, or like
Yeah,
a
sure.
little bit.
All
Yeah.
the time you need. Don't worry.
All right. So thanks for the question, Sean. So regarding these new initiatives for us, right? At the moment, we do not have any new types of like things that we have to try out yet. But rest assured that when we get our new team subcoms next year,
If
they
we're
are,
elected.
if we are elected, they will help us to generate these types of ideas as they have done so this year as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we want to let them take a step forward also in planning this thing with us. So yeah, that's what we can do.
Yeah, we think like the subcoms have a lot of potential because it's a group of a lot of diverse people from different backgrounds, different ideas, and they all have really good ideas. Even this time, our subcom team, they came up with such good ideas for us, and we are sure that if elected, the team we pick next year will help us with that as well.
Okay. 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 I've got 3 more questions, and then I'll let you all go. Okay. Another question. Um, for event participation, now that we're going back to campus and we start having physical events, right? What is your plan to engage the students in your events, and how do you plan to diversify your engagement range? Because usually it's the same outgoing students that come for the same events again and again and again, but you're not reaching the entire community. So do you all have a plan to encourage them to join? Because you can't force them.
All right, give us a second to discuss this. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks for the question, Sean. So, in terms of diversifying which parts of the student population that we are able to reach, we would want to collaborate with clubs and other groups in Monash that have, like, specific, that cater to specific interest groups. So, when we collab with different clubs that, have different populations, we believe that we would be able to reach all these different groups of people as well.
Okay. Okay, good answer. But what do you plan to do for the students who don't engage with MUSA at all? There is quite a big number of them that don't
There
engage at
definitely
all.
is.
Mm. I think
Okay,
up
like,
to this is how we really get our word out there through publicizing it. Instagram is definitely a way, the usual way that we do. We can expand more towards like physical publicizing via like notice boards, this and that. Maybe you could have a banner according with FM's permission and all to just place it in like a student prominent area so they are more aware of it. And have like our team like promote this event, like hand out flyers and stuff like that. At the end of the day, it's really up to the students if they want to participate with us, and we do hope that all students are willing to give our initiatives a try and participate. So yeah.
your greatest challenge will be targeting their interests. Identifying them will be also among the problems. So good luck with that.
Thank you. We'll do our best.
Another point, the feedback box you plan to put in the launch. Do you have a backup plan if no one puts in any feedback? Because just giving you all some background information, it's been tried again and again and again, almost every term. Nobody puts in much feedback.
Yeah, so of course, we will still have the online feedback form that we have currently. We weren't aware that this was tried before in the past, and we were honestly expecting that it would have quite a few responses because our logic was, student lounge is somewhere many students go and frequent, so they would participate. And we still do have hopes for this, but if it doesn't work out, then we would push for our online feedback form as well, just publicize it more because it's there all the time. But I think we need to post it more to remind students that they can resort to that. Also, we do plan on having a welfare feedback forum. I think this is mentioned in our speech. So on a semesterly basis, we want to have like a feedback forum the way that some school reps do, where anyone that wants can join a session with us to speak to us face to face. A lot of students may not participate in this, but even if there are a few students who do, we believe it's worthwhile because then they get the chance to talk to us like they want to.
Yep, to boost the participation of these for these style of forums, right? We can definitely prepare light refreshments because we do have the facilities for that. So yeah.
All right. So just to let you all know, the last time we tried to implement this, we even gave away free launch credits so they could play football and get sports for free. Yet we did not get anything. We did not get much feedback. One, number two, you have to ensure that the feedback is constructive. Just people ranting is not going to help either. So my suggestion would be, if you're finding some way to encourage them to do this feedback, get them to state an issue and a possible solution. At least let them think about it on how they want the problem to be addressed. Rather than they say a problem, you come up with a solution, and then they don't like the solution. It's just a circle that never ends. So at least get them to think a bit, if you can. If you can. And I'm saying if as a very big if.
Thanks for the advice, Sean. So actually, currently in our online feedback form, we do have a section for them to suggest the improvement that they'd like after they state the problem. And students do actually reply in that section as well, and it's been helpful so far.
Okay, great. I'm so happy that you're okay. This generation is a little different than my previous one. Mine was a bit harder to deal with. Okay, one last question. So you all mentioned that you all are going to continue to advocate for mental health and mental being. Can you share a little more on this?
All right. So what we plan to do, right, for this advocating for mental health is to collaborate with more of the external mental health associations. For example, Malaysian Mental Health Association. What we plan to do with them is to basically have more engaging workshops. so that students can participate in this instead of just listening to the old boring mental health talks that has always been done in the past. So yeah, we're gonna add on to this.
In addition to that, we also plan to have campaigns. So this campaign would not be, just a one-time mental health workshop. It would be for a specific headline cause, and then we would have many events or activities that go under this campaign. We believe that this would make it a bigger, more noticeable event for the students, and hopefully more students would participate as well when it's publicized as a big campaign.
Yep, it'll be something along the lines of like the EDI week that has happened in the past. So it'll be a large campus-wide scaled event for this. So, yeah.
That's what we hope to do.
So you're trying to engage with them more interactively than just making them sit down and watch talks or lectures, right?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, nice. Okay, I think I've interrogated you all enough. Okay, back to you, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you, Sean, also. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Sean, for taking the time out of your day to ask them these questions again. And now that we're done with the Q&A session by the office bearers, it's time to move on to the Q&A session by the audience. By the looks of it, I think we have one question from Chi. So, to Ina and Jasper, how will you ensure that there are good participation rates for your surveys, as we currently already struggle with participation regardless of Grab voucher initiatives?
All right, thank you, Chief, for the question. So as mentioned in our discussion with Sean just now, I'll add on to that discussion. So what we also plan to do to further get more participation for these surveys is to work with Monash Marketing to have our feedback forms posted up around the TV screens on campus, such as the ones outside the ones inside the student hub, the one outside the Rock, and other various buildings that there are around campus. So yeah, we will be aiming to work with them on that.
Yeah, we believe that this will make sure that more students are aware of the surveys and therefore lead to more students participating as well.
Thank you, Jasper and Nina. And thank you, Chi, for that question. We can move on to our next question as well. This one is from Ashley Lim. Ashley asks, hey, Nina and Jasper, just wondering what lessons would you say have you been able to learn during your current term?
Hey, hi, Ashley. Thank you for the question. So I think the biggest takeaway or the biggest thing that we've really come to learn during our term is just how important the role of a welfare officer is. Like, we've really been able to appreciate how crucial this role is, because when students face problems about, regarding how safe they feel on campus or their mental health, they come to us, they want us to have solutions. And, so it's really important for the well-being of all the students that, the person who is the welfare officer is someone that, knows how to do their thing, basically. So we've just really come to appreciate, the importance of our role. And in turn, this makes us more careful with what we do, and it makes us want to try harder for the students as well.
Mm-hmm. And on the operational side, if you want to listen to that too, is to get our plans up and ready like way beforehand, before the event itself, because we have definitely faced quite a few delays this semester due to finance being a little difficult. But yeah, rest assured, next semester we will definitely get all initiatives out on time with this preparation. So yeah, that's what we have learned. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, Ina and Jasper, for your answer. Now, Rashwan also asks, what are some of the main challenges that you are expecting?
Could we discuss this for a moment?
Of course.
Okay, so hi Rashwan, thanks for the question. One of the main challenges that we are expecting is something that's been talked about already, participation rates. So like Sean Stanley said and pointed out, it's a lot of the same students that participate in the events all the time, and to diversify who we reach and to engage more, it quite suddenly is a challenging task because there are a lot of initiatives have been tried out before to no avail. So we'll have to try a lot of different things. Another challenge that we expect is implementing the student lounge management system that we have talked about. So we definitely want to focus on this as one of our main things, but we do also accept that it will be a challenge to come up with a big, because this would be a big document with so many clauses and everything. So it would be a challenge, but we believe that we're up to it.
Thank you, Ina. Okay, we also have another question from Shi. She asks this time, can you tell us more about the communication channels you aim to implement between MUSA and the students?
Hi, Chi. Thanks for the question again. So as for communication channels, I think we have, mentioned a few before this as well. So we do plan to further push our online feedback form as well, and maybe get MUSA official to post it as well, because currently we are only publicizing our feedback form on the specific welfare page, but other pages have some more followers, so we could branch out there as well. Furthermore, we do want to have the welfare feedback forum, which we believe is a good face-to-face channel for those students that wish to bring up any issues that they want to us. And also the feedback box in the lounge, we will try it out and see if it works, even though, Sean has pointed out that it might not be as effective, but we will definitely try it out still.
And definitely students can always reach out to us, Ina and I, on our Instagrams or on phone number. You can call us, you can give us a text, and we will be there to respond. Yeah.
Thank you, Jasper and Yunan. Okay, so we also have another question, this time from Li Jiating. Hi, Jiating again. Hi, I've seen some bursaries given by welfare over the year of emergencies such as flood. With a more complicated financial process next year, are there any plans to prevent potential delays? Feel free to correct any misinterpretations on my side and share with us on the inner process if applicable.
Okay, hi Jejing. Thanks so much for the question. We'll take a minute to discuss if that's okay.
All right. Hi, Judging. Thanks for the question. So to prevent any of these potential delays, right, what we plan to do is definitely we will set aside an amount in our budget for the upcoming year to specifically deal with any types of emergencies such as the floods, as you have mentioned. Also, with the use of our lounge revenue, we will discuss with Student Life if it's feasible for us to utilize these funds for these types of causes as well.
For emergency cases.
So basically, we are preparing early just in case any of these stuff does happen in the future. Yeah.
Thank you, Jasper and Ina. Let's move on to Rashwan's question. Rashwan asks, can you tell me a bit more about some ideas you guys have when it comes to collaboration with other departments and divisions?
Okay, give us a moment to discuss, please. Okay, hi, thanks for the question, Rashwan. So in terms of collaborations, we will be looking to collaborate with the MUSA Activities Department for things that are in the handbook, such as MUSA Wars, so that's a given. In addition to that?
Yeah, in addition to that, collaborations with MUSA Welfare will definitely be something we would be looking into to help widen the scope of our reach to the international student community as well. So we will definitely include them in future events too, and we could possibly even include them in our collaborations with the external mental health organizations too.
And to add on to that, we did have a collaboration this year with the School of Science as well for a sign language workshop. So although we don't have any specific workshop ideas yet for next year, we will be looking to have similar workshops in collaboration with the other divisions that are relevant to the workshop that we're trying to do. For example, this year was School of Science. We hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Ina and Jasper. We are also short on questions, so we can also ask Rashwan's second question. He asks, can you guys tell me about the improvements you would bring to the facilities in the lounge?
Okay, so thanks again for the question, Rashwan. We have mentioned this again, but we will, say it again. Yeah, so for the facilities in the lounge, we realized that a lot of the current ball games, like the balls for the sports and the board games, they are missing pieces, they're worn down. So we want to bring in new ones. We actually have currently applied for new items in this case as well, and we'll be looking for more next year. In terms of bigger facilities, like we said earlier, we do want to try and bring in things such as the foosball table and the PS4. But again, these cannot be promised as we do not know how things would go next year. But we can assure you that we will definitely try our best.
And also, we are more than willing to accept any feedbacks or any suggestions from the student community to what types of facilities you would like to see in the lounge as well. So definitely do give us a reach for that.
Yeah, I think we did plan on having an Instagram story where students can suggest as well what facilities they want to see in the lounge. So we can take ideas from that.
Thank you, Ina and Jasper. It does seem like we do not have any other questions for the time being, but we are under time. So I think we can give the audience maybe 1 minute or so to ask any further questions. And if they don't have any questions to ask, we can move on to the closing statements. Oh, we actually have one right now. So Max Amps asks, do you plan to open up 24/7 study areas on campus?
All right, thank you, Max, for your question. We'll get a few seconds to discuss this. Yeah. All right, so thank you, Max, for your question. So regarding opening up study areas 24/7, we would say this we will not be pushing for this type of initiative as of now. This is because it is not really feasible in terms of the operations for the school. But there will be 24/7 study areas open during the SWOT vac period. For that 1 week or 2 weeks, or actually throughout the duration of the exam season. These facilities, such as the Hive and possibly the library, will be open for that 24/7 duration. So yeah.
Yeah, we will definitely try to push for more areas to be open 24/7, such as the Hive was previously during swap back period and during exam period, because we believe that this is a really crucial period. But, just reiterating what Jasper already said, we don't think it's feasible to do it for the entire length of semester because, it would require a lot more stuff, time, and things like that as well. And ultimately, these things are concerns for much higher management than us.
Furthermore, it poses a safety issue regarding opening up 24/7 for the entire duration of the semester. So the reason why it's 24/7 during SWOT vac and exam season itself, because this campus can allocate more resources there and then. So yeah, thank you for your question.
Thank you guys for your such concise and eloquently spoken answers. We have actually reached the end of our Q&A session from the audience, as we do not have any other further questions that arose. So I think without further ado, we can move. Oh, okay. We also have another one from Rashwan. Rashwan asks, how will you ensure your subcom team are not overwhelmed throughout your next term?
Okay, we'll take a moment to discuss. Okay, so thanks for the question, Rashwan. So, in order to ensure that no one is overwhelmed, we want to have a large enough team so that we can delegate work in amounts that's not overwhelming for anyone. And we do believe that this is currently the case for us as well. We do have quite a large team of 12 subcom members. So, when we equally distribute the work, it does not amount to too much for anyone. And furthermore, when things, because closer to event times, obviously things start to get a little stressful naturally. And when things like that happen, Jasper and I, we do step in and help a lot as well. We would never leave our subcoms to their own, devices. We would always be there to support them and give them any support they need throughout whatever task they have to do.
Yep, definitely. And also, I think a crucial step to ensuring we don't burn them out is starting early. All operations should start early. Unlike this year, due to first coming back from a online to a physical setting, adjustment period and all, we will definitely be starting way earlier to get all these work spread out over a longer period of time, so everybody has lesser burden throughout the year. So yeah, thanks for your question, Rashwan.
Okay. Does not seem like we have any other further questions from the audience. I am looking through the comment section right now. But as of now, there are no other questions. Again, thank you guys for your such concisely written answers. So we can move on to the closing statements. Without further ado, Ina and Jasper, the floor is yours once again for you to end this off.
Okay, thank you. So first, we would like to thank the members of the EC, Sean and Alethea, for all the work that they've put in towards the elections, and also Mr. Sean Stanley for taking the time out of his day to be here today. And last but definitely not least, all the members of the audience that took the time to be here as well.
We hope from this debate that you will be able to see that we are truly passionate about this role, and we hope that as our fellow students, you can put your trust in us to be your welfare officers. We can promise that if elected, we will prioritize student welfare above all else, and that we will put all efforts into ensuring the next year is a good one for the student community. Thank you once again for watching, and have a good day, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you guys again. Thank you everyone again for participating. Special thanks to Sean Stanley, Inan Jasper, and my DRO, Alethea Goh. This was the debate for the welfare officer's position with Inan Muabiaf and Jasper Chow Kin Yip from Ignivitas on why they should be elected. Our next debate will be happening at 3 o'clock for the women's officer's position with candidates Aoi Takeda and Ann Chan, also from Ignivitas. So do tune in to find out more about their manifesto then. We also have a few other platforms for any election updates, as well as debate updates and manifesto updates. This includes the Discord server, the MUSA Instagram, and the MUSA website, and our election guide, which was published earlier this week. With that, I think we can bring this debate to a close, and thank you guys for tuning in again.